Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Oh, first I want to say how grateful I am to have 3 years of working with artists every day, young and old, students and colleagues, and even after I go, I get to know all of them and all of their work in this really deep way, and I get to track them, the way we do, and keep up with their work and see where their art takes them, and I know it's going to be really wild places. So, without further ado, this is my piece. It's called Honey, and it was inspired by, so you're going to see some drawings up here, and they are based on stills of a film I took of a dude playing banjo on the train, and I fictionalized it. There's this magical thing called the equinox. We all know, maybe some of us know a bit about it. I had to look it up on Wikipedia to fully understand. You hear about it and you're like, okay. But it's the 2 times a year thing. It's the only times where the northern and southern hemispheres are equally illuminated. And so March 20th happened, and I was on this picnic with the Oasis staff, and there's this fabulous person who may or may not be a witch, named Megan, who works at Oasis, Megan Hamilton. Do you know her? Clap if you know her. She is so fantastic, and she read us our runes, these runes that are like signs that are, there's a significance to it if you pick it out of a bag, and so you could pick out like joy or self, this is the time of the exploration of yourself. And I picked mine out of the bag and it was a blank. What does it mean? Okay, so that's what this story is based on. It's a ghost story. So if you're scared of ghosts, prepare to be scared. I got on the end line and it was packed, with people's backpacks filled with I don't know what. Elephants and harpsichords, backpacks filled with elephants and harpsichords that no one seemed to bother to take off and put at their feet. And no one seemed to move in so that other people could get on, so there were these huge gaps in the middle and then like chunks of people at the door. People just getting on before other people could move through to get off. And someone on the phone saying, I know, right? I know, right? I know, right? And then I saw someone tuning a banjo. A banjo? Really? I thought, sure, go ahead. Take up 2 seats tuning your banjo. In the banjo player, I caught my very own profile, my pointy nose, my downturned corners of my mouth when I focus, my pores, the tiny piece of skin that hangs from my bottom eyelid. I thought, is she one of those people who looks like someone else but only from the side? I thought, could she be a doppelganger? Look-alike? Is it a dream? Is this a trick? She fully turned, and I knew who it was. She was me. Not actually me. She was Honey. I was being paid a visit by the ghost who travels, Honey. I'd read about Honey, heard about Honey. People said, you know you have a visit from Honey when you are staring into your own eyes. She takes on your form. People said, she brings you a message that only you can see. It changes you. People had told their stories of Honey. Once, she turned the train to stained glass, and the person gifted with the vision said he knew it meant he should be married at his church. One time, Honey filled the train with those little umbrellas you put in your drink by the poolside, and the passenger knew she had to return home to Portugal by July. What did the driver say on the bus earlier this morning? It's the day of the equinox. Honey was paying me a visit on the day of the equinox, which maybe meant nothing, but I felt a little special. There was a kind of calm. The end line felt like summer air before a tornado warning. Not that there are tornado warnings here, I thought. People said Honey died a traveling musician, that she had been a ghost for 94 years. I believed it. I believed Honey knew me in a way I couldn't have known myself. In that moment, no one else could see her but me. This was my time. I could not help but think, in these exact archaic words, what message will Honey bestow upon me? I wanted to know, does my grandma think of me in the afterlife? Does she know I still have her yellow raincoat in my closet, as if she lived with me? Is she making poached eggs and coffee with me in the morning? When I take naps in the afternoon, does she climb up beside me and fall asleep too? Does she still smell like Dove soap? Maybe Honey will show me how many more breakfasts I get to have with my mom. Just the number. Honey could confirm or deny my greatest fear, that there is nowhere to call home. I thought, maybe she will tell me whether I'll be okay in this life. Then I thought, is that a rubber duck? I thought of all the guilt I carried with me, Irish Catholic woman guilt, and I didn't even feel like an Irish Catholic woman. Then I thought, no, really, is that a rubber duck? 2 ducks. Honey started playing the spy versus spy theme. And now I'm forgetting it. I was gonna sing it. I'm totally forgetting it because I'm up here. Does anybody know it? Dun 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 dun. Isn't it like that? Dun 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 dun. I thought, is she messing with me? Does she think this is funny? Does Honey think this is funny? I thought, what could these ducks mean? Do I need a bath? I played word association. Ducks, the symbolism of ducks, orangecicles, marigolds, the sterility of rubber gloves, yellow, coward. Am I a coward? Honey played blues, then spirituals, then Irish folk, then American folk, then flamenco. I thought maybe they'll dance or something. Honey hadn't looked at me once. I heard myself say, "Look at me, Honey!" Honey didn't look at me. Other people did. They snapped to attention, their eyes a little terrified. I didn't care. The sun was out, and there was the most magical mural of flowers. Had it always been there? Oh yeah, I guess it had. But the ducks were for me. And then she just smiled at me, like that was enough. And that's what she did, so I guess it was. And then she got off at the next stop. And then Honey was gone. Thank you.